Um, Mate, I'm so buzzed to hear that you're doing Eurovision. I'm so buzzed to hear things are going really well for you. Obviously, big time of transition for the band. How are you feeling? You've got some UK dates coming up in October as well.
Yeah, finally, after a couple of years of struggling with COVID, something's happening. So that makes me and us really excited and happy because it's been hard times for everybody, but musicians, especially because there's no chance you're going on stage, you can't get creative, see the fans so maybe that's why that was one of the reasons we took part of the UMK and tried to, get ourselves to Eurovision.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we want some challenges, we want to feel like we're doing something, going somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And how was it working on Jezebel? Because obviously you worked with Desmond Child as well. It's a big challenge to do anything like that, on that stage. So how was it working on that track and getting it done? Because it's a banger, it's awesome.
Yeah, last summer I came out with this idea of a song, and I had an idea like we should take part of the, try to go get ourselves to the Eurovision. I called my friend Desmond Child, who's a man behind the hits for Bon Jovi, Living on the Prayer, You Give Love a Bad Name, Kiss, I Was Made for Loving You, Alice Cooper, Poison, like endless hits. So I texted him like, man, I need your help. We got to write the best song in the world and win the Eurovision.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And he invited me to Greece, where he was having his holiday. The next day I flew from Hawaii, where I live.
Wow.
I flew from Hawaii 35 hours to get myself to Greece on this tiny remote island called Folegandros, where we wrote the song together in just a few hours. It was amazing. But he's one of the greatest, I'm honored to know him.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And like I say, fingers crossed, it's an exciting time for you for sure. And I do want to ask, because again, you've been through so much in your career, you've done so much with the band, with these lineup changes now, how do you reflect on your time, since the beginning of the Rasmus, since the beginning of the band? How would you say you've changed and developed, not only as a musician, but as a person? You've been through quite a lot.
Yeah, it's like a lifetime.
Yeah.
Job, this thing, we started like 28 years ago, it's like right when I was born. So it feels like, it's been forever, but we've been able to change our style, try different things during the way. We have released 9 albums. I think they're all different from each other.
Yeah.
And again, we have a new lineup. We have a new guitarist. We have a girl in the band. It's fantastic. She's such a good guitarist and such a great personality. So we're really happy about this because it gets our band to another level. She's really talented, and we've had so much fun together now. And the fact that we have this challenge ahead of us, trying to win the Eurovision, it's a big deal, and that's great because we have something to conquer together.
Yeah,
it's really important. We're gonna grow together during this trip.
It's gonna bring everyone together, and for a new goal. That's awesome. One of the things I do want to ask you as well is obviously you've had a lot of success in your time, whether that be chart success, financial success, and whatever. And I wanted to ask you, because we work with a lot of people that struggle with that definition. They struggle with motivation to find success. They go, I'm never going to be like Lauri. I'm never going to be like the Rasmus. I'm never going to have that success. So I wanted to ask you, how do you define success as a person, and has that changed and developed over the years?
Well, I've thought about it a lot. Right. I mean, there's different ways to measure it. I mean, you shouldn't even measure it, but like now we had such a long break from the music. I realized how lucky I was to have this kind of a job, to do this for a living. And I also, at the same time, I have my private life. I have kids, so it's like, I think just like being happy and doing something in your life that, feels right. That's like the key to happiness.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about that, outside of music, what is the kind of things you mentioned? Your kids are your family. What are the kind of things outside of music that inspire you, that get you out of bed on a day? I mean, Hawaii is a beautiful place. I imagine there's not a lot of times you wake up and feel down. But if you ever feel, demotivated, what are the things, in your life that pick you up? Whether that's family, your kids, anything like that, art, movies. What kind of inspires you outside of music?
Well, I got to tell you, like in Hawaii, the vibe is different. Everybody talks about surfing all day, and like it's different. So I've had a hard time finding inspiration to do the Rasmus there. So I decided to start working at nights.
Nice.
I went to sleep pretty early, and I woke up like 3:30 at night. So I went to work around 4 o'clock.
Right.
And it was dark and mysterious. I crawl into my workspace and start writing music because it was just too bright and sunny and chill. To get to the mood to write a Rasmus song, I really need to,
it's different vibe, isn't it? Yeah, I've been before, and it's like, it's amazing. They got the vibe, and it's lovely. But yeah, I guess you've got to be in a certain space. I imagine the Rasmus to be on the beach in the darkness with the waves, in this sort of, in that dark vibe. So yeah, that's cool, man. Thank you for sharing that with me, for sure. Obviously we talked about the UK shows that you've got coming up as well. Do you have a favorite memory in the UK? Obviously the UK has been good for you. I remember watching you on the Top of the Pops back in the day and all that stuff as well. A lot of TV stuff, a lot of great shows. Obviously you're playing some big venues when you come back to the UK. What are some of your favorite memories that you have playing over here?
Well, I think maybe the first gig we ever played, it must have been like 90 something, really early stage of the band. We played in a club called Orange. It was just the tiniest club. We played in for the support band for a band who played Oasis as a cover.
Wow, yeah.
So we were supporting them, and there must have been like 35 people watching us.
Yeah.
But it was like, yeah, we made it to London. We paid basically a lot to play there. We didn't get any salary or anything. But that was the beginning. But even before that, we used to go to London with our friends every summer, at least once, just to, sit in the Hyde Park, playing guitar, just hanging out, drinking beer. It was really cool. Like once, I think we were like 17 or something, 18, like starting to be a grown up and having these kind of experiences. They really are in my system forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned obviously starting the band around that time, in such an early part of your life. What's the lesson? What's the biggest lesson then you could sort of, if you could speak to yourself now, what's the biggest lesson and tip you would give yourself about, maybe approaching life or approaching music?
Well, I've always done like kind of risky moves. I quit my school because of the band.
Yeah.
Some time ago. I didn't finish it. I thought I might want to go back later, but the band took off. So I was on that way. I think everything I've done is pretty much like against what my parents were wanting me to do or something. But like I've got pretty far. And also now it comes to our song Jezebel, which is the new track. It's about a girl or a person who does things in her own way, not giving a damn what people think, kind of like a free spirit. And I can totally relate to that myself. I can find a Jezebel inside of me,
Yeah.
It's just a tribute to all brave people.
Absolutely. So it's kind of empowering, trying to empower people to find the Jezebel within themselves a little bit, I like that. So it's a positive
Exactly.
vibe. Yeah, positive vibe. That's great, man. A couple more questions then before we finish. Obviously, again, a lot of people have got behind Erasmus over the years. You've made a lot of people very happy and soundtracked a lot of people's lives. What is your message to the people that have supported you throughout your career, from the very beginnings up until this point?
Well, it just feels wonderful now that we released the song yesterday. We started to get all these comments from all over the world. Some people, especially in Finland, they have followed us from the very beginning. We have played our first concert in '94. Like people like, I still remember you were wearing that teddy bear hat and you had this yellow hair and for a lot of people, it's like a nostalgic, but there's a lot of new people who had just discovered us yesterday.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, it's like, where have you been all my life? Like, we've been here. Just like, it's been quiet times, but it feels like a great opportunity to reach out to the world again. And we're very full of energy and like feels, like a new beginning for the Rasmus.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And that, that I can feel that vibe and that positivity, and that's amazing. Taking into account, the new people that are discovering you and the people that have supported you in the past. What would you like? Some people don't necessarily like this word, but when I say legacy, what would you like your legacy to be? How would you like to be remembered, as a musician, as an artist, as a person? Because again, you've got such a back catalogue of stuff with the Rasmus, and again, such an emotional attachment with the fans and with the people that have supported you.
Well, I would underline the fact that just be who you are, like, look at me. I'm having these bloody feathers in my hair and walking on the streets, and I'm proud of it, just be yourself. That's the message I have to tell people. It's like, just have fun.
Absolutely.
Life's not too serious.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And just to finish off, this is the plugging bit. Obviously, you've got a new single out. Anything else you'd like to plug and promote? We've covered the UK tour dates and the single, but anything you'd like to plug in your own words?
Well, have a look at the video we just released yesterday for Jezebel. If everything goes well, we get to the Eurovision finals. Vote for the Rasmus, of course.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, Lauri. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.